I do believe that play games does help a lot, because you keep your mind very fresh. So that is something required for a life of a software engineer. My name is Walter. I'm the co-founder for GainSecure, Sdn Bhd. I got my degree from RPIT, major in information technology. I've been in the software industry for 19 years. So I started work as an application developer in one of the Malaysia companies since 2001. I also been awarded by Microsoft as the Microsoft MVP for 12 years in a row. Today, I'm actually as the entrepreneurs on the software development industry. We are using technology to solve a lot of human problems. GainSecure Sdn Bhd is actually a software house. So our primary goal is to use softwares as the main tools to actually solve the problems. So today we have a lot of clients, including 7-Elevens, giant supermarkets, some of the telco industry. Golden Screen Cinema is one of our customers. We also do some project with the Air Asias. So GainSecure also create a product known as the KONFX. So this product is actually mobile applications that we build for conference attendees. And today, a lot of conferences in Malaysia are using our softwares to reduce the papers and to have a better experience to the delegates. Let's talk about drones, the robots, the IoTs. The interesting part today is the fundamental is still require software engineering skill sets. Even if you want to involve in the artificial intelligence, you still need to have a software engineering skill sets. I do believe that if you want to become in software engineering skills, you need to have few fundamental skill sets, such as problem solving, logical thinking, as well as the next one I advise to everyone is try to be humble. When you're humble, you will be able to learn a lot more. Drones, today you can do the programmings if you want to, including the Lego Mindstorms, right, which is a toys for the kids. I think something that the parents can start from there if they are interested to move their kids into this industry. So you can also get your kids games called the Minecraft. You can also learn a fundamental of programming from the Minecraft itself. I told a lot of my friends, including their kids, that it's very hard to find a job that you like, at the same time it pays off. I think for you to pick up programming is easy. With today, the tools are available for you. The resource of learning are available for you. Personally, I have no regret coming into these industries. I do believe the demand are really there, especially in Malaysia. We have been known for a very good country that provides software development services. Like about a year ago, I gave a talk in the RPIT. I would say 90% of the people in the classroom, they want to become software engineers, which is a big shift from what I know back then. In Malaysia, in terms of salary skill, I do believe that it's higher than a lot of traditional jobs, such as the accountants, the admin, the business development, etc. So if you're going to study in this industry, what I would tell you is to work harder in the first 5 to 10 years of your careers, because that's the time where you will learn. Once you're able to get the experience, you are going to further your careers above the software engineer's line. Basically, you're moving towards the software architect or the system admin. From that perspective, you basically need to have the experience of software engineers before you can become a software architect. I do believe that there's a lot of good talents in Malaysia. We just have to how to unleash their potential and bring them to the next stage. And I do believe that MDEC actually is a good platform to bring the people out. I personally hope that in the tech industry, there should be more innovations from what we have today. And I also realized that there is a lot of idea kept in the ideation stage. It never got executed. If someone who have the passion to solve people problems, I would recommend to come into this industry.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Tech Capsule series where we unwrap all of the tech careers, and we will tell you inside out of how a particular career in technology works. So in every week, we are going to show you a different kind of tech career in the industry. So what you can do right now for all the viewers that are watching, what you can do is please help us share the streams and go out to more groups and share on your public live feed. And we hope more and more children, students, parents, teachers get to see our stream. Okay, and also don't forget to like our Facebook page, which is Study Hub Student Advisory, and also My Digital Maker. All right. So this stream Tech Capsule is brought to you together with My Digital Maker and Study Hub Student Advisory. And every week we will guarantee we will have a new type of technology jobs we want to introduce to you and show you all of the insights. Okay. And today we are actually living in a very interesting time. We have a new normal to adapt to, right? A lot of you students are not in school yet, and you are using technology to learn Google Classrooms. I'm pretty sure you are doing your assignments on Google Classrooms, and you're ordering food through Grab, and you are doing your meetings, meeting friends through Zoom calls, Team calls, or Skype, or whatever. All of these technology are instilled in our everyday lives more than it used to be before. And which is why we do this series to introduce technology education and technology careers to each and every one of you. So we hope that technology is a viable option for you to choose to move on to your next part of your life. And so last week we have our speaker. His name is Kenneth, and if you watch our stream last week, he was from Microsoft and he was doing in cybersecurity and he studied computer science, right? And this week we have a very honorable speaker here with us. Okay, he is the CEO and co-founder of Gain Secure, and today he has developed many multiple enterprise solutions, okay, for many great Malaysian companies out there. And these great Malaysian companies are using technology that he has developed to help improve their business and make their business operations more efficient. So without further ado, let's give lots of likes and love to Mr. Walter Wong.
Hey, hi Brian.
Hi Walter, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here.
Okay, hey Walter, maybe Walter, you can share a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Walter. And basically, I mean, you already do a brief introduction. I'm the owner and the co-founder of the Gain Secure Sri Berhad.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, awesome. So, Walter, so I watched your video just now. So you did mention that you were studying IT in Apit, right?
Yes, I
So
am.
yes. So last week, our guest speaker Kenneth, he did computer science. He studied computer science. Can you briefly share with us what is the difference between computer science and IT?
Of course.
Yeah,
So in the industry, the terms like the IT, computer science, software engineering, kind of like sounds the same to a lot of people.
that's
So
right.
what I try to tell you from my perspective is, if you study computer science, the subject that you're going to study in your tertiary level, be in the college or in the universities, are focusing more on algorithms, right? While you talk about ITs and software engineering, we are focusing more on solving a problems. However, computer science and IT and software engineering are kind of like gel together. It's just that they have, I would say, some of the subjects are different because the the subject that you're going to go through kind of like change the way how you think a bit during the tertiary school time. But when you come out in the job, it might change your perspective as well.
Okay. So Walter has a very interesting story to share. He has been exposed to technology since a very young age. And so Walter will be sharing his journey from his education to working and to actually starting his own business in technology space. So maybe Walter, over to you.
Oh, thanks. Let me switch my slides.
Okay.
Right. Is my slide up?
Yes, that's right. It is up.
Okay, guys, thanks again on Friday. Join us on this tech series that we talk about. I humbly to share with you my career throughout the last 19 years. So, just a brief background. As I mentioned to you that I'm actually a co-founder of the Gain Secures, and I did a lot of international conference speaking engagements. Just that this year, due to some of this issue, I kind of like stuck at home and not able to do a presentation in other countries. At the same time, since 2008, that's about 12 years ago, I was first awarded by the Microsoft for something called the Microsoft MVPs. So basically, I also help people a lot in the industry. Any questions they want to ask me about technical sharing, I'm actually doing that for the local industry as well. So you have my emails. For those of you who are joining the series, you can add me to the Facebook if you want to. Please just don't send me some game advice. I sometimes play games. Right, just want to share with you some of my timelines, right? As what Brian said, I exposed to computer itself very early in age. So just share with you that in the age of 10, I do remember it's about standard 4. So what happened here is my dad actually bought me the first PCs. So the PC, the time when you want it is only about play games. It's not about doing programming, doing Word, and that kind of thing. It's all about playing games. And then by the age of 12, that's about standard 6, while I supposed to study for my UPSR, I start to learn something about DOS command, which is now in the Windows, they mostly call it the command prompt, right? So I studied some of the so-called scriptings. And by the age of 16, so I start to take a look at something what we call QBasic. That's actually the very first programming language that built into the Microsoft Windows. That you can just up it and just do it, right? So the time, if for those of you who explore to exposed to programming, QBasic is just like a text editor or your notepad, but it's in the blue colors, right? What happened here is I don't know why I have the thing to open this thing up and start to learn a bit. Partially because influence of my elder brothers, he started to do something into programming. So I just want to try something fun, and then I just start to copy and paste the code from the existing readme.txt rather than you have a Google today, right? So this is where I started. But to be frank with you, in the age 16, I don't even know what's programming. I just thought this is it's just like another scripting, right? On the age of 18, so what happened here is in the age of 18, I'm actually not in the college, but I'm actually in the SPM because back in those days, I have to study the remove class, or now they call the class peralihan. So kind of like late a bit. So in the age of 18, before the SPM, I already know that I need to venture into this industry and study that. Partially thanks to the school counselors, they kind of during the last few months of the school time, they kind of talk to you and they kind of like give you some idea what kind of thing that you want to work in the futures. And by the time I make a decision before the SPM, I decide to go into the IT industry. And again, in the age of 18, sorry, in the age of the 19, I venture into the APIT. But you started heard this word now for the younger generations, right? Because now they call it the APUs. And before I finish my whole degree, due to some of the families, because the family can't afford to pay a very expensive bill for my school, I decided that I will come and work full time. And because of the money that I collected, I will partially pay for my school fees. And of course, because of time I stay with my parents, so my parents will just cover 3 meals a day for me, right? So I kind of like work uh, in the full time and then study at part time, study at night. So just to roughly give you an idea, I start my work at 9 o'clock. And the time I will leave the so-called the office by 5:30 and drive to the school because if I remember correctly, the school starts at 7 o'clock until like 9:30. Yeah, and in my age of 23, it's kind of a bit hard to see here. What happened here is I'm actually participating in communities. Communities means that I start to look into programming, I to help people, and at the same time, I do learn a lot of things from community that you have knowledge you're not supposed to keep by yourself. I'm kind of share it with the people. And the age of 24, I'm very glad that I actually have a chance to do a public speaking. There's usually small community events. You have like 20, 30 people. I allowed to do my first public speaking to 20, 30 people, not like 200s, right? And then in the age of 27, that's about, as I said, 20 to, 12 to 13 years ago, I was been awarded by the Microsoft MVPs. And at the same time, during that year, I cannot remember which one came first, that I actually started my own company as a Gain Secures after I worked for like, I would say about 7 years in the industry. So I decided to have something for myself. And that's why I'm right now until today. So a lot of time I told people, right, I'm kind of born lucky in a sense that when I grew up, I learned a lot of things, and I able to get the job that I want to do as my daytime job, and it does pay your bills. A lot of time, this thing don't apply if you way back then. Just imagine 20 years ago, if you are someone who like to become an artist, you mostly like your job, but the pay is not that high. It's kind of like hard to sustain. But today, if you become an artist, like a multimedia artist, it's a different story. You can do what you like, such as the drawing, but you didn't earn enough money to pay the bills, right? So what happened here is, since way back 19 years ago, I'm very lucky that I have a job that I like, that I learned, and it paid the bills. Let's talk a bit about study life, right? I always make this joke. It will be something that you try to reflect back when you enter the universities, and you try to think back whatever I say. What happened here is the time in the year 2000, 2001, when you go into the class, people will not like to do programming. They think programming are too difficult to do. They just don't like it. I might be the only few breed in the class that really have a passion to learn programming. That's why for all the programming related so-called subjects, I score a distinctions, right? Because I really like this subject very much. However, about a few years back, I went back to school and do the teachings. Everyone just like to do a programming, right? I'm not sure is it really like what they really want to do, or it's just the hype of the industry that they think doing software development is the next generation of things. Because back in those days, people just like to do like a networking, securities, not so much on the programming. But I'm the one that really like it. So back in those days, I say I'm really the lonely developers. That's why every time they have the what we call the projects, because you do in a group like 4 or 5 of you, I'm the only one who do all the programs, while all my other friends will focus on the documentations. So basically, they just wait for me to finish my program, and they'll help up to work on the documentations. So that is a school life. It's quite different from nowadays. It's like totally shift of the what we call the trend. People like to do programming now more than they like to do a networking job, right? Um, the working life. I'll share with you, right? Since the age of very young, I've been start to work in the industry while studying at night. So the salary at the time, I cannot forget about the numbers. It's 1080 for 1 month, right? For 1 month. That's it back in 2001. And yeah, you can see because at the time I only have a diploma. I don't even have a high diploma. I don't even have a degree in my what we call the certifications. So it's actually really low at the time. But I told myself that sometimes when you're young, what you have is the model to become young. You can just be patient. The payment, I mean, the payoff will be there after a few years. The good thing about that in the job is I was being exposed to multiple skills, not only programming. At the time, I actually have to repair PC, including format, install antivirus, and blah blah blah. Including I have to pull a cable. I have to climb over to the ceiling and pull a network cable. I seldom do that. Just one of the two cases on the urgent. My manager actually asked me to climb all the way up to the ceiling, just pull some of the cables. But I've been exposed to multiple skills. Is something that I'm very glad because one of the reasons is because when I've been exposed to multiple skills, from there you really know what you really like, and from there I really know that I really like to do programming or to build a software. That is me. That is me in 2001 or 2002, one of my birthday. My manager actually kind of helped me. I hope it still look the same after the 19 years. Not that much of difference. Yeah, but this is me. I'm very glad that one of my ex-colleagues able to send me this photo so I can put it into the PowerPoint to share with you. The nature of job of IT are very interesting. I just want to tell you that if you want to become a software developer, in the early days of your career, it will be very long working hours, including now. I actually most of the time I work more than 12 hours a day, right? It involves a lot of intensive thinking because when you have a problem to solve, you find all this way to solve it. Sometimes when you solve a problem A, it might open up a problem B. So for you to think, you need to think how I can solve problem A, B, C, D, E as the overall solutions, and kind of like have to fix it. And to strike the balance is very, very hard. So I told people that that's a lot of thinking. It's not as simple as you think, right? You need to handle the frustration of problem solving. Sometimes you can sit in front of your laptop, you can have a 10 cup of coffee, you still cannot solve one problem. You have to be patient. You have to understand the process, how to solve it, and have to stay in front of PC until you get it done. So this is something that a lot of people cannot handle because of the frustrations. It can be very high pleasure, right? Because if you cannot solve something, forever you're stuck in your head, right? If you are the person who passionate about this job, it means that when you try to go to sleep, if you cannot sleep well because the problem is stuck in your head, you basically at least have the one of the criteria to become a software engineer, right? But it can be quite challenging, right? A lot of time, as a software engineer, you build some things, right? Because you're behind the scene. Not everyone do understand what you did, and sometimes it's not been appreciated, right? So you just have to be understand. You solve something, it's your knowledge. You help people solve the problems. Sometimes if it's not yours, just take it easy. So people ask me, right, what does it take to become a software developer? I got these questions a lot from my friends who's a parents, and also some of my relatives who's a parents that ask me, hey, my kid's just going to finish the SPM, what he going to do and how to become a software developers, right? Number one thing I always tell people, right, you need to at least have a logical thinking, right? In the school time, I believe in Form 2, you study like the algebra, how to solve the X, how to solve the Y, how to solve the Z. Those are basically logical thinkings. You must have that, right? And number two, you must have a problem solving techniques. When people throw you problems, you must have a skill set to think to solve a problems, right? And then to understand the software engineering concept and foundations are very important. I can even share with you today what actual questions I'm going to ask if you want to hire software engineers. When you go into what we call the IT, actually all the subject, computer science, IT, and software engineering course, it cannot run away from this few subject because it's the foundations. Number one thing is remember something called OOP, Object-Oriented Programming. The other one is the data structures, which I will talk about more in the next few slides. And then one thing is to today, there's always been a joke that not to become a copy-paste developers. Right. You can become a software developer, but what does it take to become a good software developer is always been a question. So if you are in that role, you want to become better, I always tell you, right, be patient. In my life, I think I'm very patient people. At least my wife says so. Right? When the problem comes, when the challenge comes, just be patient, be cool down, and try to solve the things. And number two thing is the two things, as I said, OOP and data structures. These are the two fundamental questions. When I interview people like software engineers who come to my office and work, I never ask them whether they know how to do IoT. I never ask them whether they know how to do robotics, programming. Even programming, I ask them, can you know these two subjects? I will drill down into these two subjects and ask them more in detail. So for those of you who are actually going to enter the college or the institute, these two subjects, most of the time you started in the year 2 and year 3, right? So these two subjects just pay more attention because it serves as a foundations to a software engineering career. Okay, it's very important, right? Care about design and performance. This is very important because you can get the job done. For example, you want to build something like a search, or if you want to build a robotics, right? The robotic can move from left to right, but you can make the robotic move faster. Like the robot can move left to right to a specific area faster or slower. It's very important. And then you need to have a great attitude to solve something. I've seen many of the software engineers that doesn't have this, right? Which stopping them to proceed their career. I give you one example. If you cannot solve something, don't try and scold people, right? I know you are in a bad mood, but you have to control yourself, take it easy, be patient, and continue to solve it. right? So this is something you have to really, really have the heart inside yourself to really be involved in this industry. If you become good, and if you want to become the great, what do you really need? Number one thing I tell people that you need to have a characteristic to really share knowledge with people. Today, all the people who come and join my company, I basically train them whatever I have. Like not only about the technical skill set like C Sharp, Java, C++. No, that one of course I will share. Another one is I will tell them that how to solve a thing, what's the process. People come in, they may have their own way to solve a problems, but sometimes it's not effective. I would tell them how to solve this thing more effectively, right? Number two thing, I would tell people that throughout my career, I'm very glad that a lot of people are helping me. They teach me a lot. They give me a lot of insights. They share a lot what they do with me. With condition, you must be a very humble people, right? Throughout the life, I try to be very humble. Even though I know something, I share with people. So there are more people have the more open heart to share with you whatever they know. There's no way that one person can know everything. But with humble, you are getting more knowledge than what you're going to share out. So you share a little, you maybe get 10 times more of the knowledge that people share with you. So this is something very important. Number three, I always respect every place in the industries, right? That means that if I'm using .NET to do my program using Java, I will not say Java is not good, this or that. I'll just tell you that, oh, I'm not familiar with the Java. You can ask other people for that. But I do respect that he chooses that one as his tools, his skill sets is something that's very important, right? So there's no right or wrong in the industry, right? Unless you do something super old, right? Um, Another thing is very important is when you grow elder, when you be involved in the industry, you must able to know how to do presentations. Sometimes something technicals. That's why a lot of time, a lot of people in the business, in the sales, they don't want to talk to software engineers because it's like very hard to share the common language. So what they need to do is they will ask someone, people like me, who are able to translate technicals into something more easy to understand to them. So they were able to understand in a layman form what exactly it is, right? You cannot tell your mom that I declared the variable wrongly in the Java. They will not know what exactly is that, right? So you need to speak in the more layman terms. This is some of the conference that I involved in. I do believe this one is the year 2007, if I'm not mistaken. Some of the conference that I speak a lot in the conferences. I'm glad, right? So all the three people around me, they are my sifu. Of course, I learned a lot of the English itself from the two friends left and right of mine. One is from US, then the other one is from the Australia. And then the Chinese guy on the right is my managers. So he taught me a lot how to do presentations, skill sets, and including how to become a good employer. This is another keynote that I did in Penang, if I'm not mistaken. If you realize that my hairstyle never changed until now, it's all the same, right? But what happened here is I got a chance to present to the people in the Bayan Lepas, which is most of the big what we'll call that, the big factories, right? The Intel, that the Agilents, the AMD people listen to me for my keynotes. This is interesting. This is actually one of the a workshop that I did. I share my knowledge with them when I was in Bangkok. I do believe this one was actually invited by them to do a presentation, and a training in the Bangkok. All right. This is the photo of the training itself that I just share everything I can with them, so they were able to understand how the Malaysian skill set that we use. At the same time, I do learn a lot from them as well. They'll share something with me, how exactly it works in the Bangkok or in the whole Thailand. So my technical careers has been going quite well, not too bad. And then I decided to have my own company called the Gain Securance in the year 2008, which is the same time I've been awarded Microsoft MVPs. So I just want to share something with you that if you want to become a software engineer, if you want to further a career in the enterprise companies, software companies, it's fine, right? But you got a chance. You got a chance whether you're willing to take the risk to become an entrepreneur or you're just another businessman, right? This is actually after, I do believe after 4 years, I think it's after 4 years, I got a chance that Gain Secure able to make a foot in the industry. that we start to have some project with the AirAsia, right? So we got a chance to work on that, which we are really, really glad. I learned so much about the airline industry, because when you build a software for the airline industry, you need to understand what exactly is that. I learned a lot of things from this project. It's about 4 month project. A lot of time, I think I spent like 50% of my time traveling between where I stay in the Shiraz to the last time is the LCCT2. I mean the LCCT, which is the KI2 now. It's like I travel a lot, right? So it's quite tiring, but I do learn a lot. There's another one that we do a project with the GSC cinemas. It's kind of sad now the cinema's not allowed to open, that I can't enjoy the movie I want. But what happened here is we got a chance with the Microsoft, with the software industry. We built something for the GSC cinema. At the same time, I did learn a lot as well about the cinema business itself. So I coming towards the end of my presentations. I just want to make a few conclusions for some of the youngsters like you. You guys are the next generation of the software engineers in the industry, be it in Malaysia, in the Asia, or in the world, right? You can have that, right? So you must be love what you're going to do in order to go really far. It's a long journey. You might now in the age of 16, 15, 17, right? When you want to go towards that mean to do this, let's say that your first job is 22, right? You have to do it until like 55 years old. That's about 33 years. So you better find something that you really, really like to do and make it as a career. And then you're able to enjoy every single moment of the challenges that people throw at you, right? So if you have a certain passions, like your, let's say for example your passion is about software engineering, and then you really want to build a software, right? So what happened here is you need to show your passions, right? Share it with your friends that you really really, really like this. Show them that like for example, now maybe in school time you do a small project. You can always bring the project to the school and share with them, hey, I built a small games, I built a movable like a robots that you know how to track uh, the north, south, east, and west, and that kind of thing, right? So bring a thing, share your passion. It's okay. People, if people like it, they will share the same passion with you. They'll give you some feedback. That's where you learn. If people don't like it, that is fine. If people spread some like a negative kind of response to you, don't worry. There's always people who spread a negative response because they don't understand where you come from. But if you're doing this, if you're doing this, and so happen you found another friends who also someone just be like you, quietly do something at home, enjoy programming, then you got a team member. Then two of you can do more things. That's why I say to share the passion are very important, right? Share the passion, then you will able to find someone around you might be in the same boat with you, right? Software engineer is actually a job that actually solving people's problem, right? We are here to solve people problem, make their life easy, make their life more creative, using some of this technology to innovate something. That's why I told people, we can't invent a new light bulb like the Thomas Edison. We can't do other things, right? But with the software, you're partially an inventor. You invent a software to make people's life easy. You invent a games to make people life happy, or you invent a robotics kind of thing to automate a process. So you are actually partially in the inventor role, just that we don't call you a software inventor. We don't have that kind of job in the world, but we just call ourselves a software developers, right? Okay. So by that, I think I conclude my presentations. Over back to you, Brian.
Thank you so much, Walter. Wow, that was really informative, and I can really tell that you have really came a long way. I mean, from starting off as your first job, your first pay was 1,080 ringgit. I think that is even less than your minimum wage today, right?
That is a catch. That is a catch. I can honestly tell you that during the time,
Yeah.
while study at night, actually got few days, including weekend, I actually taught computer classes, like how to use Word,
Wow.
Excel, as the extra,
Wow.
I get another few hundred from there.
Yeah, that is real hustle, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yes, yes,
And
yes.
yeah, and guys, well, you know what you can learn from Walter. Walter can't really afford university degree, but he did was he started working first after getting his diploma, get work experience while earning enough money and to attend night school, right, Walter?
Yes, it's a nice school. Yeah.
Wow,
So in
amazing.
between, I kind of like break like I think 3 to 4 months before the next. Basically, I skip one semesters because to find a job and tune back your lifestyle kind of hard, right? Because I still go to cyber cafe back then to play games, so you have to use to
I
it,
mean, like
right?
all young people do, right?
Yes, we have to. I mean, it's nothing wrong that you play games because a life need to do something like a break. So I still did that, right? What
Yeah.
happened here is to be frank with you, at the time it's really working for like 7 days a week for quite a number of years until that I finally understand what is Sunday.
That's right. So the
Yeah,
hustle is real, and seriously,
yeah,
what we can learn from here is nothing is impossible. But if you put your mind and your soul and
yes.
your everything in it, you can really achieve what you want to do. Even the circumstances does not allow you, you are financially not viable to do something. But
Mm.
really, I think we all learned a lot from Walter here today. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions related to studying in technology, working in tech careers, seriously, you should drop us a question in the comment section below, and we will try to get Walter to solve your questions. Yeah. So Walter,
Yep.
we were saying about salary back then wasn't really that high. It was all hustle bustle. To make it work, make it happen, right? And
Yeah.
even though salary right now it's slightly higher, but it's not exactly super great yet compared to a lot of more
Mm-mm.
developed countries in Malaysia, right?
Yep.
So can you share a little bit about your experience, your point of view of what are the perks, what is the starting pay like, working in tech companies? Yeah.
I cannot say on behalf of other companies, but
Yeah.
at least in our company today, the pay for the software engineers will be range. If you just come in as we call the fresh grad or the fresh graduates, it's actually ranging between 2005 to 3002. So that really depends on the skill set on how you're able to what we call that. You're able to show me your talents. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. So it's 2005 to 3002. All
Mm.
right. So, do you have any ideas or any insights on some of the big tech companies in Malaysia?
I know some of the big companies like the Intel back in the Penang there. Their
Okay.
salary is, if I'm not mistaken, and don't quote me on this, but
Okay.
I do heard that their starting salary is about 2005 for fresh grad.
Three, three,
Yeah,
five, 3, 5.
yeah.
Okay. That's
Mm.
interesting. But
So that
guys,
will show that it's something between two plus to the half of the early half of the 3,000. Yeah,
yeah,
that shall be
yeah,
something you should aim at. Yeah, you don't go and interview and say that you want to have a 5,000 job for your first time. Yeah, you
yeah.
go figure out that
You,
the
you got you
employer
got to start.
unless
You got to start somewhere, right? Yeah.
yeah. I have to tell you, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, and of course, because of you're still fresh, you have limited skill set. What you really want to do after you get your IT knowledge from college is really gain all the valuable industry experience, right?
Yes.
And Walter took 7 years, 7 years studying and working in the industry, you know, until he started his own company, really daringly started his own
Oh
company and
yes.
providing solutions to companies, other bigger companies out there. Speaking of that, Walter, so you work with multiple household names, right? And
Hmm.
brands. I saw AirAsia, GSC. What is it like? Working with them. Is it difficult? Will they look at companies like, oh, you are a small company, I don't want to work with you?
To be frank, we're very blessed. The blessed in the sense that when we go into the AirAsia, we went
Mm,
into the GSC.
mm.
We have the support of the MDEC that the MDEC already do their initial selling or initial proposal that kind of back us up. right? So that's number one. And number two, because our company is actually a Microsoft certified partners, and throughout the years we gain the experience and show them that what we capable to do, and then that's why we they kind of like have the confidence in us. But at the same time, when you have the confidence in us, we need to make sure we deliver what it's supposed to be. So the expectation are pretty high as well. So it's a good experience.
Of course, because they are a multi-million billion ringgit company,
Oh
right?
yes, I'm not there to screw up the the fine
Yes,
business, right? The ambition
that's
business is very big. Yeah, yeah,
that's
and I
right.
learned a lot from them as well.
That's great. And Walter, I mean, you studied in Upbeat, and now it's called APU. Back
APU.
then, right? I think it's in
Yeah.
2001. You mentioned
Yes.
is what you studied.
So actually, I studied in the year 2000, and then
Mhm.
I mean 2000 year 2000 until year 2001, I finished my diploma, or we call the first year, and
Okay.
then I went out to find a job. Yeah.
Mm. I see. I see. Okay. So my question is because technology evolves along the time, right? And very likely what you learned back then may not be applicable with what you are the
Doing
technology
now.
that there is today, right? So
Yes.
did you is what you're learning how to say what you learned in college back then applicable to what you are doing today?
I will even bring your question even further more. What
Oh,
I
okay.
learned in my secondary school, it does apply until something that we do today. So
Oh,
let's go all the way back from there. So I study in the science streams. So we did something called the AdMax, or the additional max.
yeah.
I do remember in the year 2010, I do involve in one graphical project, and then to draw all these graphicals, I have to bring back out my AdMax book. That it's yes, there's a calculation exactly there. And one of the problem is because in the MS book we study everything in Malay, and
Yeah.
then when I try to learn something in the Google, is actually in the English. So because the foundation of my MS I think is good, so what I did is I had to take it out and really refer back for a few days, and then only that I can do that project. Because to do a 3D modeling kind of project in the software, it does involve a lot of calculations. Yeah, so that's
Okay.
why that I have to take it out. and uh,
Okay.
and
Okay.
uh, and and then of course for school, I mean for the college, I would tell you that this now, and if you want to become a good software engineer, the foundation, everything you learn are super important. There is a reason why people teach you object-oriented programming, or they teach you like a networking. Until today, I still tell people, right, a lot of things, the foundation serve as the main thing. That including when I hire new people, they always tell me that. So sometimes when I do interview, right, there's some people come in here and just tell me that I know a lot of practical, but I don't care about the so-called theory, because they think whatever theory, it doesn't important. So I say
Yep.
that that's the wrong concept. If you want to work here, I will throw you back all the way to the foundations, and you can crawl up from there.
That's
Yep.
right. Fundamentals are everything, right?
Oh
And
yes.
and speaking, just to continue on the point where you said you took out your AdMats book, right? There's a lot of questions from a lot of students asking, I want to study IT, I want to study computer science.
Hmm.
Is maths really very important? Is it the fundamentals in studying computer science or IT? Yeah. Well,
That's a
what do you?
very good question.
Yeah.
If you ask me, right, why people teach you mathematics is the logical thinking. For
Okay.
example, they give you go all the way back to the form two. They teach you the algebra. Try to get me the value of the x. There's a logical thinking how you process that, right?
Yeah.
And from there, I do believe that the maths does give you the foundation of the logical thinking, a problem solving. Because other subjects, they don't teach you that much of problem solving techniques compared with mathematics. So
That's
I
right.
do believe that it's quite important, right? And you
Okay.
must enjoy the process to solve that.
Right. I think what you mean what you mean is the concept of problem solving in mathematics instead of memorizing the algebra, the function, the differentiation is not so much
Hmm.
of that, but it's the process of solving the maths question.
Yeah, if you be involved in some of more computer science subjects, you just
Mm,
need to take back some of these formulas. That's why
okay.
I'm not sure about the SPM process now, because back in those days, you don't have to memorize all the formulas, because our brain are so small, right?
That's
That's
right.
why you can able to bring the so-called textbook, go into the exam hall, and then you can refer back the formulas back then. Because
We
those
call it
formulas give you,
yeah,
yeah,
back
right.
then. Yeah.
Like the open book test, right?
Right.
You can bring that as a reference, but you still need to know how to use those formulas to solve something. It's the same thing happened today. I
Yeah.
mean, I know a couple of friends who work in the US that
Right.
they are really focusing on the algorithms, and all these maths are really served as a fundamental. And for those of you who study STPM, your double maths are not sure still available now. It's really some of the subject that is so complex that it's really give you a better edge if you're able to score it well.
Yes. Double maths is now known as further maths.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? I heard
Yeah.
that one is a nightmare.
Yeah. All right. All right. So we actually have some questions from the audience. All right.
Oh, that's great. That's
So
great.
yeah. So can we get the first question? Eliza Alvin George. Right. So Eliza have a question. Is This question is how to learn more about code and being a developer. Eliza, are you a student? Maybe you can let us know in the comment below. Yeah, for a student, Walter, how can a
Hmm.
student learn more about code and being a developer?
Um,
Let's
let's
say
put
let's
it
say
this
they're
way.
not in college yet. Yeah.
Oh, let's say they're in the secondary school now, right?
Yes, that's right.
So today, there are many things you can learn to pick up the fundamental of coding. I don't know which path Eliezer went in through, because I know a lot of younger children, they play the Minecraft to understand how the fundamental of the programmings, some of these things, right? But sometimes I just did afraid that if you're too young and if you didn't follow the fundamental of software engineering, such as why people need to declare variables, why people they need to do this and do that. So the fundamental are very important. I just give you one example. I try to link back. Like
Okay.
declare a variable is exactly the same when you do your mathematics solving, such as that you say x equals to y, and if you want to temporarily park the value, then you say I want to declare a z. So declare z is like declare variables. So the kind of concept are very fundamental. You just need to find the way how they do in the individual coding, such as the Java, such as the .NET or C++, right? On the second part of the questions, that how to become a web developers. So first, I would suggest you to understand the fundamental of coding. And then if you want to more focus on the web developments, there are a lot of resources to help you. I can throw you some keywords, such as you can learn something about Angular, learn something about the React, but I will wish you go slow in that, because sometimes you are unlike other software engineers. Those content that they prepare are mainly for those people who already study software engineering. Because if you don't have the good enough of foundations, just
Yeah.
be patient, slowly understand. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Mm.
I mean, I myself, I'm currently learning coding during this
Oh,
MCO period. Yeah, I mean, at
yes,
night
don't
I have
worry.
nothing to do. Yeah, so I learn coding. So there is a website that I use, but it's called freecodecamp.org. So you can actually
Mm.
go search them out. They are not a sponsor. This is not a plugin. So yeah, so you can actually check them out. It's actually beginner friendly. So they have a lot of lessons. So I'm picking up JavaScript right now because I heard JavaScript is the fundamentals for React, and I am
Oh, yes.
interested. Yeah, I'm interested in that. So which is why I started doing it. But it's how to say the challenge is gradual. So from beginning it's very
Mm.
easy, and then
Correct.
slowly they throw in some questions to you. Oh yeah,
Yes.
there are 500 lessons for JavaScript. So I'm at level 70 right now.
Okay,
so,
yeah, you have
so
400 more to go.
yes, 400 or more to go. I'm just taking it a step by a day.
Yep.
So what, ladies and gentlemen, there's because it's now the age of the internet. There's so many resources out there you can really pick up, and this is one
Mm.
that I really recommend. Right. So and we have another question from Mikazak Kerman. So his question is, what requires to study computer science engineering? Yes, what requires? Maybe you're
Mm,
asking about the requirement. What is the
I,
requirement? Yeah.
I don't think I'm in the position of a college university to tell you what's the requirements, but I will tell
Mm,
you from my perspective what is really required.
mm,
I think it's very fundamental, as I mentioned in my slide. Problem solving, mathematics are really important. The second one I would say is the language itself, which is the English,
mm.
right? I can share with you that I have a problems in my first year when I study in the RPIT is there's a mathematics subject which is equivalent to maybe Form 4 Max Modern.
Oh, oh, okay.
Right? What happened here is I have a struggle in the first few weeks that I can't get it done. One of the reasons because I don't understand the English part of that.
Ah,
Yes,
right.
it's a really tough challenge, but at least I scored a distinction towards the end of the
Okay, okay.
semesters. But,
Yeah.
from that, I do understand that study language itself are very important. So I told everyone, including those in my office, or even every time I give a career talk, English are very important. Just be aware that all the subject you study is e- everything is in the English. So if you can't understand the question itself, there's no way you're going to solve the problems, right?
Yep.
And then mathematics are quite important for our friend there, Mikazek. So yeah, these are the few things. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you, Walter. English, maths. Yeah. So in Malaysian schools right now, it's still how to say. Some schools are still using BM to teach science
Mm.
and maths. Some schools are using English already. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's good. That's
and
good.
there are some schools where they have a class for English and then a class for BM.
Oh,
Yes.
that will be very
Yeah,
yeah, very
it may
tiring
seems a
for the
little
students.
weird, but it's how to say, I think
I think it's a
politically,
good move.
yeah,
Yeah.
how to say, we are somewhere there heading towards
Yeah.
that direction of
Yeah.
English for science and maths. But
Mm.
the thing is, I mean, compared to back then, I'm also from the era of learning in BM. You see,
Yep.
yeah. So which is why I also find it a struggle to when I go into university and
Yes.
everything's in English. You know, it's not to say my math is bad. You know, or
You just
my
don't
science
understand
is
the
bad.
questions.
Yeah, it's the terms that they use. Yeah, so it was
Exactly.
a struggle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, students, if you are learning science and English in science and maths in English, you know, maybe you can let us know down
Thumbs up.
below. Yeah. And if you are learning science and maths in science, you know, let us. I mean, in BM, you can
In
let us
Malay.
know down below as well. So
Yep.
we have really a lot of questions. Yeah. Okay. Another one is from Victor. Victor, our question is coding a must to learn in order to be a software engineer? Hmm. Walter.
Um, let's put it this way. After so many years industry, I still learning. I still learning. Right. So I'll tell you that you need to have the urge to learn, continue to learn. It's not like every day you need to learn something. So people get this thing a bit confused. You're not going to learn something. I mean, you're not going to learn different technology every day.
Yeah.
But gradually, like because every 1 or 2 years there's something coming out, you do have to chase against the technologies. Because now let's say that you learn technology A, then you can use it for next 1 or 2 years in your job. But on the third year or maybe halfway through the first and the second years, you can actually learn another thing. Just as a trend. There's no way you can learn everything in the world, and I haven't seen anyone can know everything.
That's right.
Right.
That's
So
yeah.
I hope we'll answer your questions, Victor. You have to continue to learn something, but not like so greedy to learn everything.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are
You need to be like what focus. Yeah.
laser focus on something, but never stop learning.
Exactly. That might be more proper way to put it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and of course, coding is the fundamentals, right?
Mm.
Of a software engineer, right? It
Yep.
is
Yep.
the bread and butter of how you do your daily work. Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, your answer is yes. You must learn coding. Yes.
Yep.
Also, we have another question from Yi Ching. Okay, Yi Ching. Yi Ching. Her question is, what's the qualification and period for an internship? What's the
Oh,
qualification period for an internship?
I have a very good I have a very good story to actually share with you, or maybe some of you not in the college yet, but I have a very good case study in this. If you
Okay.
say you want to the qualifications, if you want to become a software engineer, because you are interns, we don't really expect any qualifications. As long as you're willing to work and learn, we will here to teach you. I'm here not to hire you to do something. I much more prep you to work in the industry during the so-called the internships. I give you one example is a story that a lot of people do not believe until even myself now I cannot believe, which is I think last year or the year I think it's last year or the year before, we actually have 4 interns we pick up from the APU. Three is software engineers. One is graphic designers. What happened here is the three software engineers, they are studying game programming. They build games. So I told them, right? I mean, during the first time when I talked to them in the school, because I went down to school and just tried to meet everyone, try to let everyone come to my office. They say that they want to achieve something. I can see a passion in their eye. So I told them, why not you come to my office and do internship for 6 months? They say by default the school is actually having 4 months, right? So then I say I would recommend if you want to do something, because I haven't told them my plan yet. I say it's 6 months. So four of them they did agree. Just that one of the intern had a bit problem on the schedules. So they did 6 month internship in my office, and that means that they actually skipped one semester. Right? What happened here is this: is they successfully built a game and published to the store on behalf of my company.
Wow.
Yes, I will
Okay.
tell you all the credit. I tell the lecturers. Is
Yeah.
the game is called the Magician. It's actually it's actually a very challenging game. The whole game design and concept come from me, but four of them they executed that. Four of them they executed that, which is until now I tell people that might be the best intern I ever seen. Another
Wow.
another part which is not so much on programming internship is I got this two, let me see, I do believe it's two interns coming from Tar College. They come here to become a designer internship. When they came in, I asked them to design like something like a game, but with the video. So they actually helped me to craft the video from storyboarding until deliver the MP4 in 4 months' time. And these two batches are really quality internship that I see. It's not so much about me. It's like I want to guide them through. Sometimes if internship are too small, you can't achieve anything, you can't learn anything. But to publish the game using our account all the way to Google and Apple, that is mind blowing. Even until
Yeah.
now, I still think that they are
That's
mind
right. I
blowing.
mean, publishing a game on App Store, I mean, there are a lot of regulations that
Yes,
you need to follow, and if you don't have enough experience, you may hit a brick wall after a brick wall, right?
correct.
Yes.
Correct. So the
Right.
thing is, that's only one part of it. To deliver quality that I can use my company on top and allow them to publish. There must be a quality. Of course, when they bang the wall, they'll come back and they try to solve it, which is a good attitude, right? That's why I say be patient.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm not sure if you are a secondary school student or you are currently studying computer science. If you're currently studying computer science, I think the internship is normally at the end of your final year. So before you graduate, you normally go for an internship.
I think it depends on the college
Yeah,
or you.
that's right. Also depends on the
Oh,
college.
even the more scary one I can tell you is the four interns that I share with you.
Mm-hmm.
They are usually for upbeat is between higher dip and degree lah.
Yep,
They
I
mean
did.
in between.
Okay.
This four guy is only finished the first year. It's
Oh
not even
wow.
higher year.
Okay.
I mean seriously, when they ask
Mm.
me to submit the form, I straight say no questions. Your internship, four of you will get a distinction.
Wow.
It
Okay.
just proves
Okay.
that they can do it.
Really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just do it.
That's right. I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes get being an intern is all about willing to do things, willing to learn, and willing
mm,
to be like a sponge to absorb as much as possible, and having the right attitude. I mean, sometimes
yeah,
if you are a college student and you or you are a high school student, and if you want to intern for a company, you can always ask them. And when
yeah,
you demonstrate the right attitude, yeah, I believe some companies may give you an opportunity to pursue an internship, and this internship will be a valuable experience and that you can bring forward to your university and even for your first job in the future.
yep. Agree.
Yes. All right. Wow. We are 5 minutes away from ending our stream, but we still have a couple of
No
more
problem.
questions.
We
All
can
right.
extend a bit
So
if you want to.
all right. So another question is, okay, what kind of Elizer? It's also Elizer, okay? Elizer have a question. His question is, what kind of part-time job do I need to start after SPM? Because I am a computer science student. Yeah. Walter, I'm not sure if you know, but in our government school system, there is a computer science stream right
Oh,
now.
really?
Yes, that's right. Science computer, bidang science computer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be frank, I would just take it as a generic SPM student.
Right.
You maybe study something during your the secondary school time.
That's right.
Let's assume you never study on that. For a
Mm.
lot of company, we're willing to take you and just teach you something about what's happening in the industry, right?
Yep.
I
Yep.
might not able to bring you in to become a software engineer. The reason is because you might not have the fundamental of how to write software, right?
Yep.
Unless you can demonstrate that you know how to use some of these things, like how to use a Visual Studio and that kind of thing, right? But
That's
if you bring it in, we might mostly train you some of the foundation, like how to look at data, maybe more from database perspective, but much more towards the Excel perspective, how you have a basic understanding to look at the data and to determine in what's going to happen in the futures, that you basically learn something to your own life that will be valuable when you go to college and as well as when you're going to work in the futures. We'll just teach you something practical that you're going to see in the next few years that is coming in your life. That is
that's
much more thing that we will pass you. Even though we just pass you a small thing, you might just work on small thing, not necessarily on the programming, but definitely something related to the software.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Uh,
That is
uh,
right. Yeah.
maybe you can help. I mean, maybe at the same time we teach you how to set up live servers, how to do something about the networking. If you
Yeah.
remember in the presentation talk I shared with you that in my first job I exposed to everything, including to repair PC, right?
Yeah.
Including to pull a network, install antivirus, which is very common nowadays. And then from there, the 2 years there, I really understand that I really like to do programming. That's why after that job onwards, everything I do are programming focus kind of job.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
I hope
So
I answered your
yeah.
question.
Yeah, I mean, Alyssa, we hope it answers your question. And of course, for a student after SPM, your part-time job, that can be two objective.
Mm,
Whether are you looking for a lot of financial returns? You know, if you're looking for a lot of financial returns, then it's probably a sales job. And
mm,
but if I truly believe that you should use that, that gap while waiting for your
mm.
SPM results
Yes.
to really upskill yourself. And like what Walter had said, learn from companies, sincerely write to them, show them you have the right attitude, even though they put you on the sideline, but you can do some lightweight lifting, do
Yeah.
help them with some Excel related matters, understand how the tech company operates. Yeah, I think that is very, very valuable
Yes. Yes.
while
Because
studying.
sometimes I mean, I just give some example. Even though you're just small interns, right?
Yeah,
But when you go for lunch, I mean, now it's a bit hard to go to lunch together. But if you have
yeah,
a lunch, you sit down with your colleagues,
yeah,
you're able to understand how this uh working people thinks. Then
yeah.
they'll give you some like a perspective. That I can very sure that if you go to the college after the 6 months of the internships, right, they'll be like, oh, seems like I know something more than other of my colleague who just relax 6 months after the SPM. I can very sure on that, right? Yep.
Right, right.
Yep.
Okay, okay. All right. So before we end our stream today, Walter, I have a small game that I want to play with you. It's just a
Okay,
very
no
fun
problem.
game. It's called Quick Fire Q&A. I will give you a question and you need to answer immediately in split seconds. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Um, well, can our yeah. All right. So let's kickstart. So Walter, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Firefox or Chrome?
I will go for Chrome.
Okay. Windows or Mac?
Windows.
Okay. iOS or Android?
iOS. iOS.
Okay. Windows and iOS. Yeah. Okay. Right. Um, favorite gadget?
Kitchen gadget. I like to cook a lot.
Okay. Okay. Kitchen gadget. What is the proudest product you have ever launched?
KONFX.
KONFX.
Our yes, our one of our soft yeah, our own in-house softwares. Yeah.
Okay. It's a conference software, right?
It's a common software. So what happened here is we try a lot of product before, but the one that really take off and doing well is the KONFX. So this
Okay.
is something proud in my heart.
Okay. That's the proudest. Okay. Work from home or work in office?
Work from office anytime.
Okay. Okay. All right. Paid well but not happy, or low pay but very happy?
I would say all this while I'll go for the happy.
Oh,
Pay a bit low, but yes. Because as I said, I mean, maybe the fundamental of thinking is to go for really long terms. You need to be happy in your heart. Yeah.
All right. So I
We're
guess
done?
that's the end of our stream. All right.
Yeah,
Thank
yes,
you
yes.
so much,
And
Walter.
let's sort of what are the last question from someone that are you a science stream student? Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
From
yes, I am.
subject. Okay, okay. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. All right. So, Walter, do you have any last final advice before we off the stream? Yeah, for our
No,
students here.
no. I mean, I think towards the end, for those people who really ask questions, those are really passion kind of questions.
Yeah.
I just wish all of you who actually in the sessions have a good career ahead of your life, because you guys are the next generations.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is right. That is
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, well, we would like to thank Walter Wong from Gain Secure Sendirian Berhad for giving us his valuable time to sharing with all of us here on Facebook. Thank you so much, Walter. And before you leave, if you like our stream and if you like our Tech Capsule series, every week we will unfold and dissect a tech career. So if you like it, so please remember to follow us, subscribe us, share this stream out to more people, and we will see you next week. Thank
Okay, bye
you.
bye. Stay safe.
Bye, guys.